Remember when houseboats were part of the game? What happened to those, and why have we never seen more of them? This question made me feel so nostalgic for the old days, which is so crazy to say since the game isn't even out yet. Looking back to 2019 when we only had clips like this one and were praying this game would see the light of day. Funny how creators at the time struggled to include new clips and would just loop them so many times over. Also had to rely on Alex Massey to keep our hopes alive by staying active on Twitter. Those were the days that I look back on with such cozy feelings. Those feelings prompted me to go binge tons of old content and news videos. Doing this made me quickly realize there's so much content I completely forgot they planned. Like, I completely forgot about the houseboats and these old screens for the new game. There's such a day and night difference between the info drops from then to now. Thankfully, they created this absolutely amazing website that catalogs everything from planned features, a detailed development timeline, and an entire FAQs page. This really opened my eyes to the insane number of features that have been confirmed over these past 5 going on 6 years, especially when we see stuff like this today. It got me thinking, if I, a Paralives obsessed fan like myself, forgot about so much, how much have casual fans forgotten about? The days of 2019 through 2020 had such a different vibe, and all I want is to relive those vibes. So why not talk about all confirmed features we forgot about? This could be cool for those who just want a little refresher, but let's be real, this video is about me. I can feel that feral spirit awakening for Paralives as we get closer to 2025, so don't mind me while I do my little weird and over-the-top things for this game. This week is completely about me. I want to clarify what exactly I mean by confirmed, since there's so many things that have been talked about and considered. To keep it simple, in this video, I'm just going to focus on anything that has been stated to be coming in early access or has been showcased on their public socials. So all features I mentioned will either be from their official YouTube channel, present on paralives.com, or confirmed in a public Patreon post. I will say, if you know how to use them, Twitter and Discord are gold mines for Paralives info, but I have a confession. I am so lazy and slightly computer illiterate when it comes to finding old information on Twitter. I often make it harder than it needs to be, so I just don't. If you know any details they've talked about, please drop them in the comments. Honestly, you can know more about something than I do, and a lot of times y'all do. I would love to see your guys' thoughts, as that's my favorite pastime, is just to read the comments that y'all leave on this channel. I read through every single comment and it just adds so much to my day. Anyway, I will go on forever about that, so let's just get into the first feature that's coming to Paralives that I personally, maybe you did as well, who knows, we'll find out together, completely forgot about, that's coming or confirmed or in consideration. No, just confirmed. I'm just gonna we'll see. It's confirmed coming to Paralives. The first mention of houseboats was back in the early days of 2019. I do believe Alex Massey brought this up in a Q&A, and I remember seeing tweets and creators' videos. If I can find the tweet, I'll put it up here. But ever since then, we haven't heard or seen anything related to how houseboats will work. The only thing we have is the early concept of a houseboat. This used to be on the official Paralives website, but has since been replaced with updated screens of recent features. The only current mention I could find is if you go to the FAQ page on their website, you'll see where they confirmed cars, bikes, and boats will be a part of Paralives. Maybe the reason why houseboats have been replaced with just boats could be due to this was a feature that didn't make sense to focus on before or during early access. If that's the case, this is perfectly fine by me. Houseboats give me the vibe that this will be something that's added later in a free expansion, though I did also find the ability to build houseboats will be coming to Paralives. Their roadmap does a pretty good job of giving you an idea of when you can expect certain features. We haven't seen what exactly building a houseboat means, but I'm excited to find out eventually. I will say though, the fact that they still plan to have boats in general is so wild to me. One of my favorite things to do in The Sims 3 is to take the simple rowboat out before sunrise and have my nature enthusiast Sims go fishing. This was such an immersive and relaxing experience. If this is in Paralives, I will gag. I mean, I already am, but you know. Custom lot sizes were the exact feature that took my general interest into all new crazy levels. I still remember the moment where I first saw the video on YouTube and I just replayed the 30-second clip over and over because I just couldn't understand how something like this was possible. Being able to draw the boundaries of lots to have unique shapes is amazing on its own, but it gets even crazier. I'll get into just how better it gets in a second. You can find confirmation of this feature on YouTube, of course, but they also have this posted on their website. Listed on the roadmap under the build mode tab, this is in the done section. It's been 5 years since this was showcased showcase, and I wonder if anything has been tweaked since then. The game has changed and evolved so much over the years, I know something has to be different. Back to the crazy part. When this was announced, I swear there was confirmation that you can build on the very edge of the lot, basically giving you the option to make townhouses and row homes. This is my Simmer's dream, and we're getting it in the base game. I've recently gone back to playing The Sims 2 to prepare for the possible limitations Paralives could have, and when I tell you building 2 tiles in hurts my builder's heart so much, thankfully Paralives will have that limitation out of the way. In my uneducated opinion, this seems like such a cool workaround to add apartments without adding all the extra work to make actual apartments, at least for early access. Whenever the world creation tool comes, best believe my main thing will be creating compact worlds with plenty of townhomes. Procedural animations is an aspect of this game that really makes it feel like next-gen gaming while being an indie title. This is not a new concept, but is such a smart move to utilize in a character-focused life sim. This will be another confirmed feature found in the done section. I had no idea what this meant initially, but from what I can find, it will be a system that will automatically generate animations in real time to allow for a more diverse series of actions. A genius approach to ensure all character interactions and animations work regardless of the height of the character, the position of objects, and the size of furniture. There are plenty of confirmed life stages that range from babies to teens to elders, which can all vary in height thanks to the height slider. Imagine how many painstaking hours it would take to animate the same hug interaction in over 1,000 different ways. If you ever wondered how the Parafolk will interact with the world and the objects when build mode is so customizable and without many restrictions, this is how. By having an in-game system that detects the size of Paras and the objects to use the smoothest variation possible. I'm telling you, it's the little things that will bring this game to the next level. An emotion system is something that's been confirmed to be in Paralives. They have released plenty of animation videos privately and publicly. This is another feature you can find in the done section under the life mode tab. I have a love-hate relationship with emotions in The Sims 4. They were a fresh concept in 2014, but as time passed, they quickly started to feel useless and often break my immersion if I was trying to tell a specific story, and The Sims reaction just didn't match up. Also, I was never a fan of the quirky or weirder stories vibe. It was just too over the top for my taste. The Paralives team decided to take a different approach with emotions, working as reactions to different scenarios like events or during conversations. My absolute favorite part about the system is the balance they have between feeling realistic to human emotions, but also being expressive enough to where they're clearly readable without any notification. There's still so much character to where the Paras feel real and alive. They go into much more detail in the public Patreon post where they talk about their goal to create balance, which they completely nailed, by the way. Seeing fun things like facial animations and possible moods and states your Paras can be in makes me desperate to start storytelling and to have the little things matter again. The simple option to have a first and last name for my Parafolk was good enough for me, yet Paralives went above and beyond with a full name customization menu that will be in the Paramaker. Just to give you an idea of what you can do in this menu, if you're wanting to give your Paras a nickname, it's as simple as typing it into the nickname section. Want to show representation for different cultures? You can easily select the toggle so your Paras are referred to by last name, first name. Have an iconic Para who's known by first name only? Literally, the option is at your fingertips. And the best part is you can even be nameless. Seriously, who comes up with these small but groundbreaking details? Whether it be the development team or community suggestion, they're constantly creating features I never considered but will completely become a staple for my game. This is going to make any game with name customization feel so wrong without it. I'm so in love with this already. Would you believe that dogs were added to the game before the Parafolk? One of the very first clips is of the first confirmed pet in Paralives. We haven't seen how much they've changed over time, but when looking back at the FAQ page, it does state dogs, cats, and horses are confirmed to be released. I'm guessing they want to save the evolution of the art style for the big reveal when pets are showcased. Based on the roadmap, it looks like we'll see pets added after early access. This doesn't bother me at all. I'm just excited we're getting them eventually. Dropping another confession, I don't really play with pets as often as I should. I'll praise pets all day every day, but realistically when playing, I only add them if it makes sense for the household, which is almost never. Still, I love pets just the same. I have to say though, I'm dying to see what the cats look like. I've been such a dog person my entire life, but I swear it's something about getting older that I'm starting to just get cats more. Like, it's the way they decide if they want to love you is what gets me. I don't know, my appreciation for cats is growing. I don't like it, but I don't think there's anything I can do about it. Supernaturals in Paralives has had a long and undecided history of if we would ever see them come to the game. In the early days of Paralives development, people would ask if they were planned. The response was always, we aren't sure or not right now, but was never a no. You can actually find on the FAQ page where they confirm Supernaturals and occults are not coming to Paralives in early access. You can also find this on the roadmap in the under consideration section. Don't hate me, but I can live without occults. If they're there, great, I'll play with them when it makes sense. If they never come, personally, I won't miss them. I tend to lean towards the more realistic style of play, and occults are tricky to incorporate in the best way. I will say though, one of my biggest pet peeves I've seen from the Sims community is the attitude that a feature shouldn't come to the game just because it doesn't fit their preference. This makes no sense, especially when oftentimes said feature could easily be optional if you weren't into it. So here's to hoping the players who do want them eventually have their moment. It would be cool if we can see a different take on Supernaturals or even just a new occult entirely. Now that will get me on the Supernatural train. I'm a fantasy girly, but mainly in my books, not with my games. I had to shorten this list so much because you wouldn't believe how much content has been made public from 2019 until now. Old and dead conversation, by the way, but if you still feel Paralives isn't real, babe, I fear your trust issues are getting worse. Please go read something. Anyway, most of you might be aware of most of these features, yet it's still fun to look back on how far we've come. I'm definitely doing this again. There are some features that nobody talks about that's been made public this entire time. This makes sense when we're finally entering the live mode era for Paralives, though I know it's not just me who gets the nostalgic vibes from the game in its early stages. Again, I just want to clarify, all features I brought up in this video can be found on their official website and is public on their Patreon. I highly suggest looking into these if you never have. What we know now makes me desperately wish I could forget about Paralives just to experience all of this for the first time all over again. But that's obviously not going to happen. What is possible is early access in 2025. I'm getting so pumped even though we still have a long way to go. My ways of coping are making these videos, so expect tons more Paralives content. I don't think I even hit the surface of how obsessed I can get with this game. It's honestly very concerning. Maybe a little too much, but we'll see. I'm excited.